Good morning, students. Now I am going to take up the remaining portion of Coulomb's law in this video lecture. So our heading will be permittivity and relative permittivity. Permittivity. In the first lecture, already we have discussed that Coulomb force between 2-point charges can be written by this equation. F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R. If the charges are placed in medium, the value of K can be determined by the relation 1 by 4 pi epsilon. So therefore F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. This epsilon is called permittivity. This is permittivity which we are going to define now. From this equation it is quite clear that if permittivity increases, force decreases. Why? Because permittivity is in denominator. So permittivity will increase, force will decrease. What does it mean? It means the permittivity will affect the force between two charges. So what is this permittivity? It is said that permittivity is the property of a medium by virtue of which it permits its own field to decrease the interaction field of charges. Interaction field of charges means to decrease the strength of interaction between the charges, and this is the absolute definition of the permittivity. Hope the word permittivity is clear. It is also known that the value of permittivity in vacuum, which is denoted by epsilon naught, it is given by 8.85 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square, and this value is minimum value. If this value is the minimum, so when the charges are placed in vacuum with the help of this equation, the force in vacuum will be maximum because the epsilon naught is minimum. So epsilon naught is minimum means permittivity of the medium is more than the permittivity of the vacuum always. So here I have written permittivity of any medium epsilon n is more than the permittivity of the vacuum. It can be represented by this relation. Epsilon n will be greater than epsilon naught. If we take example, many examples we have. Permittivity of water is greater than permittivity of the vacuum. Permittivity of the glass is greater than permittivity of the vacuum, and many more. The question is how many value of the permittivity of medium we shall remember. That's why we shall discuss relative permittivity. Relative permittivity. It is also called dielectric constant. It is defined as it is the ratio of permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space, and it is denoted by either epsilon r or k. Both the notation we have to denote the relative permittivity of dielectric constant. So therefore we can write this in equation form. Epsilon r is equal to epsilon m by epsilon naught. Epsilon m is the permittivity of medium and epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. Because it is the ratio of two same physical quantities, so it has no unit. So therefore by cross multiplication we can write epsilon m is equal to epsilon r into epsilon naught. So with the help of this relation, what can we conclude? It is quite clear that if relative permittivity of any medium is known, we can find easily that how many times its permittivity is greater than permittivity of free space. And we know that permittivity of any medium is always greater than permittivity of free space. Now one thing also it should be noted that this permittivity can be defined in different ways. For example, I have taken, it can be defined in terms of the Coulombic force. We know these two equations. Force in vacuum by this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Force in medium 1 by 4 pi epsilon m for medium Q1 Q2 by R square. Now divide F vacuum by F medium. Here F vacuum by F medium, the result will be, this will be cancelled out and rest will be epsilon m by epsilon naught, and this epsilon m by epsilon naught is the relative permittivity. So we can say that relative permittivity is also the ratio of two forces, the force of two charges in vacuum to the force of two charges in medium. So this is the two different definitions of the relative permittivity. Now we shall discuss Coulomb's law in vector form. Students, we know that force is a vector quantity. So we may write this Coulomb's law in vector form also. For this purpose, I have taken two similar charges, plus Q1 and plus Q2, which are placed at point A and B in a vacuum and separated by a distance r. Both the charges are similar charges, so they will repel each other with a force. Assume Q1 applies some force on Q2 and Q2 applies some force on Q1 as over here. Let F12 force on Q1 due to Q2, this side, force of repulsion. F21 force on Q2 due to Q1, this side, force of repulsion. Since force is vector quantity, so we have to show the direction of these forces, both the forces. That's why to show the direction, I have taken two unit vectors. We know that unit vectors gives the direction also. One is R12. R12 unit vector from Q1 to Q2. It means the direction of F21 is represented by R12 and R21 unit vector from Q2 to Q1. Means direction of F12 will be given by unit vector R21. Now we shall write both the forces F12 and F21 in equation form over here. F12 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square, and its direction will be given by the R21, this side, and R21 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square, direction is given by R12, this side. Put two equations 1 and 2. Students, we know that unit vectors, its magnitude are the same one. So R12 and R21, these two are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So we may write like this: R12 is equal to minus R21. So put this equation 3 in equation number 2. We will get another equation from this one. It's F21 here. This total term is here. And at the place of R12 we select minus R21. So R21 is here, minus here. So F21 is equal to this. It becomes minus F12y, because F12 is equal to this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square R21. So F21 is equal to minus F21. So in this formula, we can say that F21 is equal to minus F21. Both the forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So we can say that Coulomb's law obeys Newton's third law of motion. Students, both the equations 1 and 2 are valid for repulsive as well as attractive force also. So there is no need to write separate equations for attractive force as well as repulsive force. Here we have the diagram for the figure for the attractive force. See, same charges plus Q1 plus Q2 at the points A and B in vacuum. Direction of the force will be this time inward, F12 and F21. So this represents the diagram for the attractive force. So this is the complete explanation of Coulomb's law in vector form. Now we shall solve the numericals on the Coulomb's law which are given in your assignment.